Hello, viewers and listeners. You are welcome to another edition of the program Midday Vibes, coming your way from Caliphate TV on Star Times Channel 141 and Caliphate Radio, transmitting on 91.9. Suicide cases in Nigeria are on the rise, with estimated annual deaths reaching roughly 15,000 to 17,000. And experts pointing fingers at mental issues as the primary factor leading to suicide in Nigeria. Reports in the late through 2025 indicate that most of the students who committed suicide in universities suffers from academic stress, young professionals struggling with financial stress, and homemakers overwhelmed by societal expectations, all succumbing to severe depression and desperation. Psychosocial problems, depression, and lack of support system leads individuals into desperation and depression. Today's edition of the program Midday Vibes, we will be discussing on how we can break this silence and address Nigeria's growing mental crisis. Joining us in the studio is Professor Usman Abdulkadir, Director Center for Peace Studies and Head Department of Sociology, Udut Chapter, Sokoto State. You are welcome to the program, sir.
I'm very glad to be here with you.
Okay, Professor, before we dive into the main issue, can you explain to our viewers and listeners what depression means and how it differs from normal being sad?
Well, when we talk about depression, we are talking about state of mental health that is noted by severe fatigue, disturbance, state of hopelessness, and state of loneliness that noted on the person. So it's something that individual enter into an anxiety, a state of stress, and state of feeling abnormal, different from other members of the society. So individual will feel isolated, loneliness, and then a person will feel deprived of the rest of the society, his family, his friends, so on.
So what triggers depression? Is it financial stress or relationship, or is it something else?
Well, as you give a very good background on this program, all this what you have said is one of the major triggering factors, one of the major precipitant and factors that pushes and induces individual to become depression. As I was saying, issue of loneliness, issue of unemployment, and issue of societal stress, push and pull factors. So there are a lot of factors that made one to be in depression.
So coming back to the main issue, which is mental issues, or mental challenges leading to suicide and depression.
Yeah.
So what are the primary factors driving individuals into committing suicide?
Well, if you look at Nigeria, just like America, they have almost one common thing. We have greater emphasis on issue of success. For example, in Nigeria, you find the whole Nigerian family, whether from South, North, Muslim, non-Muslim, traditional, we all have one common goal. And what is that goal? Goal to be educated, to have economically prospering job, to get a political position, and then to be respected. That's why we send our children at 3 years in nursery school down to whatever. So, but in Nigeria, just like Nigeria and America, this is a goal, but the means to achieve this goal is very narrow. Especially in Nigeria now, education is not for all. It's not for all people. That's why you find that many people cannot send their children to school. Even when they send their children to school, let's assume they finish up to NYSC. Every year, more than 1 million youth are going for NYSC, but when they come back, less than 100,000 will get job. Even when you get job, what kind of job? For a young man now, the minimum was 70,000. Let's say you get 100 or 120,000. To go where with it? As a young man, you want to settle, you have parents, this. So you find that lack of this incessant pressure on the society to make it. So that's why individual will become what? Will become depressed, will become worried, and then he will get into a stressful position that will take him to any abnormal state.
What are the warning signs that someone might be suicidal?
The warning sign is one issue of, for example, that withdrawal. When somebody is withdrawn, is in a lot of anxiety, trauma. For example, now this even issue of violence, displacement. You find that somebody is in worrisome, feeling of loneliness, and you feel the life is not worth living. So he's saying that this life is not worth it. So nobody wanted me. Eh? So if it is not accompanied with the spiritual domain of the individual, so if somebody have that spiritual domain, but if the spiritual domain is low, especially now in Nigeria, you find that greater emphasis is on wealth. People are almost worshiping money now. Look at even Soko, this group of Semalam, new cultist group coming up, simply because of what? Simply because of money and power. So you find that in the youth find it difficult to cope. So in that issue of coping mechanism, coupled with the current issue now, look at this government. More than 60 places, the subsidy have been removed. Apart from subsidy removal, we also have this issue of fuel subsidy removal and then incessant taxation. So where is our future? Especially the future of youth. So all these things combined together depress individual, the youth. Even when you finish university, you see 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years waiting for job. So you find that individual become into what ML.com called state of anomie, numblessness, hopelessness. So individual become lonely and you will feel isolated, you feel dejected. So these are some of the triggering factors that pushes and induces individual to take their lives.
Suicide. So what's the link between depression and suicide risks in Nigerian context?
Well, it has a lot of linkage. For example, now the issue of youth I gave you. In 70s up to early 80s, we don't have problem of the government is catering for education. Sometimes I knew even when this long vacation, you find a child will get job. And even if it's to be paid 20 naira will last for him another month. So it's a huge money. When you finish NCs, they say ladder, boko. You will be given ladder, that one car. With NCE, if you graduate, shikena. You find that cement companies, banks go to convocation ceremony. Once you have 2-1, you see, even me, I finished in 1994. I finished university in 1994. When I come back for my NYSC, I'm one of those people who have took months without getting a job, 7 months. But after that 7 months, that day I got 2 offers. After 6 months, I got 2 offers. There are some of my mates, we finished NYSC today, tomorrow they started work, some 2 weeks. So what about now? And then when I get the job, after a year, I got state government rent house. The house built by late Shehu Kangia from 1988. By 2018, the former government by Aminu Waziri sold all the house. So what about now? So I settled. So what about today's youth? What do you expect? So these are some of the factors that push and pull individual to become feeling dejected. Yes.
So when you talk about like students now, some of students in Nigeria are committing suicide.
Yeah.
We've seen these reports and we have received a lot of reports about that. So what do you think triggers students that they have a long way to go in life deciding to take their lives? As
Issue of financial stress, financial burden. Look at it now. Visit any of our campuses. You find that 2 weeks after resumption, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, some people didn't return. They didn't resume because their parent doesn't have money to pay their school or to cater for their daily upkeep. If somebody misses a semester by 6 weeks, which means half of the semester have gone. We have seen how students are stressful, are doing all what they could to ensure they keep their studentship. And that's why some students now, they engage in Yahoo. In many places you find students, male and female, engaging in this cyber criminality. Some are joining cultism, this. So, and then coupled with apart from financial stress, even academic stress. With this issue of globalization now, this issue of handset, other thing, the world now is a global village. And then this issue of luxury. Many youth now doesn't want that stress of academic pursuit. They want a shortcut based on this Nigerian overemphasis on success. So people shortcut. So all these are some of the factors. And then also associating this depression with the issue of I think that is not taken serious in our society. Lack of professional attachment, then spiritualization of this mental health issue of depression. And then also you find that the society deject, family dejection of those mental ill people. So the society didn't accept them. Yes, so they feel vulnerable and so on. And then also even go to psychiatric hospital. Before, I knew with 5,000, 6,000, you can take a patient there. But what about now? You will need maybe 120,000 or upward. How many people have that money? And the drugs are also very expensive for it to maintain the mental alertness of depression. So all these political economic factors are some of the strong factors that are fueling or pushing this issue of depression, and then issue of suicide also, which they have a strong correlation.
How does stigma impact mental health, help seeking in behavior?
Yeah.
Help seeking behavior in Nigeria.
This is very, very important question. Look, how do we treat the people with depression? As I was telling you, the families sometimes deject the individual. There's that social stigma, mahaukachi, madman. You see, lunatic. And then you see them across cities. And apart from that also, there's issue of trauma. Trauma and a stressful situation now. Look at it, higher rate of insurgency now. From Maiduguri to Sokoto, how many millions IDPs, internally displaced persons? There's this issue of higher rate of escalating drug substance abuse. Look at Kano. 4 to 5 years ago, every day it was said that more than 3 million substance abuse, Benalin, Pakalin, and all those substance abuses in Kano alone. How about Kaduna? How about Katsina? How about Sokoto? How about other places? Unemployment also. Underemployment also. So lack of family support. government support also, and then societal dejection. So what do you expect? Even those that are not depressant, how are they coping in this Nigerian society? Because we become less of what we call our brother's keeper. If anything happen to you while you are on your own. So all these things, what lead some of the people with depression to take their life, and they feel that their life is worthlessness, because in this, that mental health makes somebody to be loneliness. He will enter into state of hopelessness. Yes, and in an anomic condition. So that's why he or she will feel alone, and people doesn't want to associate. Even family member, you find that some family members who have that history, even issue of marriage, some people are withdrawing. So social psychological support and all